Hey, this is your weekly money moment with financial coach Chiante Jones. Today, we're going to talk about taking responsibility for your money. And what I particularly want to talk about is fault versus responsibility. And so things happen to us all the time that aren't necessarily our fault, but then ends up being our responsibility to deal with or rectify or fix. For example, I can remember back in college, someone hit me in a car accident and totaled my car. And so not only did I have to, so it wasn't my fault that accident happened, but it was my responsibility to deal with the aftermath of that. So I had to, deal with the insurance, end up finding a new car, and then I had the responsibility of taking on a car note to end up, to pay for the new car that I had to get. So none of that was my fault that it happened, but I did have to respond to it. You probably have had something similar happen to you. So when it comes to money, there's a lot of things that happen or that we witness or experience early on in life that ends up that's not necessarily our fault. As a child, it's not your fault the way you see money handled. It's not your fault that you saw your parents live paycheck to paycheck and you thought that was the norm. It's not your fault that you weren't taught the importance of savings. It wasn't your fault that you kept that refund check and blew it instead of paying it back so you wouldn't have to have that as a student loan later. It wasn't your fault that you weren't taught how to use credit cards responsibly, so you ended up running them up and you have outstanding balances. Those things weren't necessarily your fault, but now as an adult, they are your responsibility to deal with, right? They are your responsibility. Those things happened or other things happen, and now it's up to you to deal with them. So that might not necessarily be fair, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily feel good, but that's kind of just how things happen in life, just like I said with the car accident. But the good thing is, responsibility is all about your ability to respond. I mean, literally, that's what the word is, responsibility. So your ability to respond. And so that is the good thing because you are in a place where you have a choice. You are in control of how you respond to a certain situation. So that is the positive. Even though some things may have happened to you that weren't fair, that weren't necessarily your fault, you are now at a place where you can choose how you respond and that you have the responsibility to deal with those things and to create the life that you want and to create the finances that you want and have them to support what you're trying to accomplish in life. Okay. So that is a good thing. If you are ready to take responsibility and ownership of your finances, I am here to help you. Feel free to send me a message or give me or reach out to me via my website at dollarsandchange.com. I would love to talk with you about your particular financial situation to see how I can help and to help you take more responsibility and ownership and get to the financial place that you want to get to.